Some significant metropolises are in risk of being flooded as a result of the global rise in sea levels. The effects of global warming might be difficult to comprehend. How can you know it's actually occurring if you're not being directly endangered by wildfires, water shortages, or rising sea levels? Everything might appear a bit hazy. Between now and 2030, a lot may happen. We might construct flood barriers, modify our cities, and, ideally, get our governments to start acting seriously to stop the climate problem. Yet in the event that none of that occurs, the following may happen: 10 cities that could completely submerge in the next 10 years. They are known as the Low Countries for a reason. The cities of Rotterdam, The Hague, and Amsterdam are all low-lying, flat, and adjacent to the North Sea. The Dutch are well known for their flood defenses, and it appears that the nation's system of dikes, dams, barriers, levees, and floodgates may become even more crucial in the years to come based on these sea level estimates. Basra, the principal port of Iraq, is situated along the Shatt al-Arab, a sizable river that empties into the Persian Gulf. Basra and its surrounding territories are particularly vulnerable to a rise in sea levels because of its complicated network of canals and streams, as well as the nearby marshes. As if that weren't concerning enough, waterborne infections already pose a serious threat in Basra, making the situation much more dangerous. Notice how the center of New Orleans is surrounded by those angular, solid gray boundaries on the map up top. The city is shielded by this network of levees from the influx of red structures coming south from Lake Salvador and Little Lake and north from Lake Maurepas. Even with such defenses, the devastation appears catastrophic. Without them, New Orleans would be badly threatened by increasing water levels. The animal preserves in Biloxi and Jean Lafitte appear particularly vulnerable. On the map, they both almost entirely submerge. Venice confronts a double threat in the very near future. The city is sinking by 2 millimeters annually, and sea levels are increasing. The Venetian capital has already seen severe flooding, and climate change will probably make these floods more frequent. Venice has a system of flood defenses in place, similar to New Orleans, but if the situation develops, they will be harder to maintain. According to Climate Central's graphic, Ho Chi Minh City's eastern districts, particularly the Th Thiem marshes, which is flat and densely populated, are the most vulnerable. Nonetheless, it appears that the city's position along the Mekong Delta will become more and more precarious. By 2030, Ho Chi Minh City's center is unlikely to be inundated, but it will undoubtedly be more susceptible to flooding and tropical storms. Because of its lush terrain, most of West Bengal has prospered for generations, but as the accompanying map illustrates, Kolkata and its surrounds are now quite concerned about this. The city could struggle during the rainy season, similar to Ho Chi Minh City, because there is less ground for rainfall to drain off onto. The condition depicted on this map for the year 2100 is much more worrying. Bangkok may be the city that is most severely impacted by global warming in the near future, according to a 2020 research. The capital of Thailand is sinking and is only 1.5 meters above sea level. Bangkok is significantly more vulnerable to floods since it is situated on a very dense clay soil. Much of the coastal Tha Kham and Samut Prakan regions, as well as Suvarnabhumi International Airport, may be underwater by 2030. Georgetown, the capital of Guyana, has relied on sea walls for protection from hurricanes for hundreds of years, actually, one enormous, 280-mile-long sea wall. As the majority of the shoreline lies between 0.5 and 1 meters below high tide, this is the case. As you can see, if Georgetown's central neighborhoods are to avoid significant damage, Guyana would need to significantly strengthen its seawall because 90% of the country's population lives along the shore. Savannah, Georgia is located in a hurricane hotspot, yet even in the absence of severe weather, the ancient city may witness land being engulfed by the sea on all sides. When storms and flash floods do reach the city, the impacts may be much more catastrophic since the Ojiti River and the Savannah River may both overflow into the neighboring marshes. The third largest city in Bangladesh, Khulna, is only 9 meters above sea level. Most of the nation is subject to significant flooding, as demonstrated by the terrible floods of 2021, and according to Climate Central, Khulna appears to be much more a danger. The west of the city, in the direction of Khulna University and Khulna Agricultural University, is where you can see the red advancing. Of course, there are many different factors at work, but the scenario we're focusing on is what might happen if global warming continues along its current trend. These maps show projected tidal lines, but do not show what might happen during floods or other extreme weather events. If we find a solution to this, we can get away from this disaster. See you in a new video. Goodbye.